YouTube. What's up? ZM here, and welcome to the second episode of Understand Deep into the Meta. Today I'm doing GraveKeepers. Yeah, I decided to do GraveKeepers because it's what's really being played lately. It's very popular, very powerful at that, and it's all the rage with duelists these days. Yeah, so first let me tell you what we're going to be going over. We're going to be over common cards found in the deck, certain plays, strategy behind the deck, and how to side deck and defeat the deck, how to be able to stand up against it, and how to be able to play it if you desire to play it. Yeah. So first, let's explain why GraveKeepers are so popular these days. GraveKeepers are so popular because they won the last Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship. Fraser Smith, I believe, was the player who created the deck along with his partner, and they both topped. They both made first and second place with the same deck, no doubt. So they had a mirror match at the end, and ever since, because of that, everyone has been playing GraveKeepers. Not to mention, Konami throughout the years have been slowly, very slowly, with each new set, giving GraveKeepers new support. It's like they really did want the deck to win. So, congrats Konami, they actually won. Yeah, first let's go over cards in the deck. In any GraveKeeper deck, you will most definitely need GraveKeeper Spy. It's ridiculous. You set it. It has, let's see, it has 1200 attack, 2000 defense. You set it, right? You play it face down. You set it, and bait your opponent to attack. And if they don't, which is either way beneficial for you, you flip and special summon one GraveKeeper from your deck with 1500 or less attack. Lets you target anything in the GraveKeeper deck, except for maybe if you're running a pure GraveKeeper build and play like Chief or maybe Visionary. Either way, 3 copies is mandatory. Definitely got to run this card in 3 if you're going to play GraveKeepers. Definitely. That's one card right there. Let's go on to the next. Another card you will definitely see is GraveKeepers Assailant. Once this card declares an attack, you can switch any monster into defense mode. This is very helpful. Very helpful battle phase, or if you get GraveKeeper Spy, just get, bam, just get Assailant onto the field, you know, wait till your opponent ends, you know, it's your turn, and you can just pull off so many combos with this card. It just says no to so many things. Say, for example, your opponent has a Caius on board, which they use to, I don't know, maybe remove your back row. You flip your GraveKeeper Spy, bring out Assailant, and attack with Assailant. Assailant has 1500. So Caius only has 1000 defense. You can switch it into defense and bam, kill it right then and there. Amazing. And you still have Spy in attack mode, so you can still just go bam, attack directly with Spy. But this is a what if situation, you know. In general, it's really because it's so easy to summon with Spy. Second of all, it's one of the beaters of the deck. It gets a field power bonus from Necro Valley, so definitely one of the best cards in the deck. Next is GraveKeeper's Descendant. Very good card. Another one that can be searched by, of course, GraveKeeper Spy. You search it, you bring it onto the field, and what happens is you contribute one face-up GraveKeeper monster you control, except this card, to destroy one card your opponent controls. So you contribute your Spy, which you just used to bring him out, and destroy any card on the field, which is incredible. Any card your opponent controls, though, so it's not like you can destroy your own, let's say, Royal Oppression if you're, you know, teching that in. He also gets a field power bonus from Necro Valley, making him a 2000 beater. Excuse me. And he's very good, very good. He came in Absolute Power Force, I believe, so he's not that hard to run by. So if you get one, please save it. Very good card if you feel like running GraveKeepers. A definite must. One is a must. At least one is mandatory. Level 4, dark. That's another thing. All GraveKeeper monsters are dark except, you know, a few others. Like, for example, GraveKeeper's Commandant. GraveKeeper's Commandant is very good because of the simple fact that he's a 1600 attack monster, so he cannot be summoned by GraveKeeper Spy's effect. Although, however, he can be used to bring Necro Valley to your hand, which is the key card of the deck. It just helps so much, and it shuts down so many other decks because of it. It's amazing, very good card. 3 is mandatory, 2 is good, but definitely if you're gonna run GraveKeepers, you gotta run 3 of these. Next up is GraveKeeper's Guard. GraveKeepers guard is very good. He only has 1,000 attack, 1,900 defense, level 4, dark, of course, like most GraveKeepers. Spellcaster, like most GraveKeepers. Where he shines is his flip effect. Once he's flipped face up, you could select one card your opponent controls and just send it right back. It's amazing, really good. Yeah, that's it for guard. Let's see here. Next is going to the magics. Of course, what makes the deck such a big threat and so good is Royal Tribute. What Royal Tribute does is it can only be activated when Necro Valley is on your side of the field. Both players discard all monster cards in their hands. There's no other cost other than having Necro Valley and you discarding your own monsters. It's like, really? This is basically Crush Card Virus on a whole other level. It's ridiculously good. And GraveKeepers benefit from it because the standard YCS, Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship build, demands that you play a low number of monsters. So your starting hand should be having this, Necro Valley, and something else, and just bam, you drop this as soon as it's your first go, and destroy your opponent's hand. It just shuts down so many decks. X-Sabers, Blackwings. The only deck that could possibly benefit, well, only a few decks, would be maybe Scraps, Infernity, Zombies, Plant Synchro if they have Dandelion in the hand. They had Dandelion, that's 2 tokens right there, so they have a chance to survive for another few turns. But yeah, this card is ridiculous. It's so good, really good. This is what put GraveKeepers on map. This is what won YCS. Another card is GraveKeepers Recruiter. I'm so sorry I don't have this card with me right now. But Recruiter, basically, when it's sent to the graveyard, is like Sangan. It lets you search for any Gravekeeper card and add it to your hand. So you can basically refresh and recycle everything. It's ridiculous, really good. Next up on the list is Necro Valley. This card is broken. It's ridiculous. Definitely run in 2s. If you're going to run it in 2s. All GraveKeepers gain 500 attack and defense. So if you got Spy, that's a 2,500 shield right there. Stop Stardust, all other cards, etc. Cards can't be removed from play while it's on the field. And all cards in the graveyards are unaffected by card effects except for their own. So it shuts down Pot of Avarice. It shuts down anything that isn't Treeborn Frog or Stardust Dragon. It just stops it right then and there. It's like, what? You want to go Pot of Avarice? No! Necro Valley. Denied. But seriously, yeah, this card is really good. It's broken. What the thing about GraveKeepers is it's so anti-meta. It just shuts down so many decks. It stops plants. It stops X-Sabers. It definitely stops Infinities because of Necro Valley. It just says, no, you can't do anything. It stops Monster Reborn. It just stops so many ways to, like, come back. Next is Allure Darkness. You should know what this card does. If you don't, well, I'm going to read it anyway. Draw 2 cards, then remove from play 1 dark monster from your hand. If you do not have any dark monsters in your hand to remove, send all cards to your graveyard. Thing about this card is, every monster in the GraveKeeper deck is dark, except, I believe, let's see here, Commandant. Commandant is the only non-dark, so whatever, and you're going to be discarding him anyway to get Necro Valley. You can basically just drop this and draw your two cards for free because you're removed from play a dark type anyway, unless of course Necro Valley's on the field. But hey, draw power. Next is GraveKeeper Style. What GraveKeeper Style does is you select 2 GraveKeeper monsters in the graveyard and add them to your hand, and it can't be negated by the effect of Necro Valley. So you can choose any two GraveKeepers, refresh them, put them in your hand for free. There's no like backdraw to it. Just you gotta have Necro Valley on the field, which hey, you should be having anyway. It's ridiculous. Let me go over the YCS build. The YCS build is good because of the fact that it ran Pot of Duality. Now, what Pot of Duality does is you draw 3 cards and reveal them to your opponent. You show the 3 cards to your opponent. And you select 1 card to put to your hand. You can now special summon the turn that you activate the card. The thing about it is, with GraveKeepers, you don't need to special summon that turn. Spy is the one who does all the special summoning for you. So no matter what, you're benefiting. And along with Allure of Darkness as well, it's just massive speed. It's just so fast. That you know, tied to the fact that you're negating all graveyard effects and you're stopping your opponent from special summoning from the graveyard with like Monster Reborn or recycling with Pot of Avarice. It just shuts down so many decks. It just says no, straight up no. Another thing about it was the Royal Tribute. I went over Royal Tribute not too far. If you don't remember, this is Royal Tribute right here. This card right here. Royal Tribute just, oh my god, it just shuts down everything. Every deck needs a monster, basically. That's the way I see it. Every deck that's being run so far needs a monster. At least in the first turn, one monster would help you survive or help you with your goal because that monster's effect, etc., etc. If they take care of your monsters on the first turn and you don't need them in the graveyard, you're pretty hurt. Royal Tribute just shuts down so many things. As for traps, they run the pretty staple Bottomless Trap Hole, Compulsory Evacuation, Dimensional Prison, Mirror Force, Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning, Starlight Road, stuff like that. You know, Stop Blackwings, etc. Now, Fraser Smith went undefeated, I believe. He went undefeated in YCS, and that just made so many people raise eyebrows like, what? This deck has to be good. And it is. It's a really good deck. But it just has weaknesses here and there. Like, you can side in Nobleman Across out. That'll stop guard. That'll definitely stop the main key card, GraveKeepers Spy. Definitely shut him down. Nobleman Cross out, remove him and all other copies. Well, what you gonna do? You can't special summon right now. The main threats are really Royal Tribute and Necro Valley. Otherwise, there's no real threat to worry about. As far as Royal Tribute goes, you can tech in like Gemini Imps, and it'll just stop it. Stop it right then and there. Gemini Imps help. Royal Tribute. Being counter trap heavy, like definitely. You need like Dark Bribe or Solemn Judgment, or you know, just stop it. Stop that magic card. And for Necro Valley, we run double MST. You can side in Dust Tornado. You can also side in Giant Trunade if you don't have it in your deck. Just to save you for one turn. Just get it out the way. You gotta overpower the deck before it has a chance to actually do anything to you. Now, variations of GraveKeepers. GraveKeepers run different variants. Without duality in the deck, what they do is they go monster heavy. They add a Gravekeeper Spear. Let's see if I can find the spear so you can see who Gravekeeper Spear actually is. Let's see here. Gravekeeper Spear, okay? When this card attacks with an attack that is higher than the defense of your opponent's defense position monster, inflict a difference as battle damage to your opponent's life points. There you go. They add Spear into their deck. They definitely add Chief, which I have here next to me. Let's see. Gravekeeper Chief. When he's tribute summoned, his effect is unaffected by Necro Valley when he's tribute summoned. And you can select one Gravekeeper and special summon it. Ridiculous. They definitely add another Descendant and another Assailant for a total of 17 monsters when they usually run 14. They also run Deck Devastation Virus, and they also run more quick play cards such as Magical Dimension. What Magical Dimension does is you can only activate when you control a spellcaster type monster on the field. You trigger it and special summon one other spellcaster type monster from your hand. You can then destroy one card on the field. No, one monster on the field. I'm sorry. And they benefit from this so much because every single Gravekeeper is a spellcaster. There is not one that is not a spellcaster. So if you see them running like no Royal Tribute, they're most likely running Magical Dimension and Royal Decree in their build, so beware of that. Again, MST would definitely help against Royal Decree. But if not, they're running dualities and they're going for the quick deck devastation, which would normally be done with Royal Tribute and Necro Valley. So yeah, that's it for what to do against Gravekeepers. What do they do? And stay tuned. I may give you more info on how to fight against this deck. But that's my episode for today. Next week, I'm doing X-Sabers. Take care. See you next time. ZM.